वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
Okay. कल की क्लास मिस हो गई थी मेरी।
Yeah, we'll revise it. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. So, first of all, welcome everyone. So, we have a mixed student here. So, one from the UK, one from the Saudi Arab, and one from Hyderabad, and one from Canada. So, we have mixed, I mean, okay. So, this is how the advantages of the online classes and all. And previously, I remember in 2018, I was taking one batch. So from South Africa, one guy was there, USA, and UK, India. So it was mixed. So around 12, 15 members batch was. So you know how difficult timing was. So we took something around 9:30 in the morning. So it will be evening, night time for the USA, and for us it's fine. But so like this so if we work in different time zones, so we will have this kind of issue, but someone has to suffer. For this class, if we go early, so Muhammad has to suffer because in different regions. Okay, so no problem. We'll inshallah will manage. Okay, so let me share my screen. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah. So yesterday we discussed something, and what we discussed is the basic commands of Cisco ASA, and how to configure the zones, how to configure security level, and all these things we yesterday we discussed. And there are there was not much theory, but it was totally practice based. So you can watch that video for what. But today also the same thing will get repeated. Okay. So what we are going to do today? So okay. So I have a one like uh, in any organization, if you go like a small organization I'm talking about. So how the setup will be, how the network setup they will have. That I want to show that the same thing we need to achieve here in this class. So what will happen? They will have one core switch, okay, which will have we will call it L3 switch, and they will have access switches, okay, where all their end host like their IP phones, their computers, their servers, their Wi-Fi, and their controllers, everything will get connected. And we know that the access switches will get connected to the core switch, you know. So when we talk about, so the entire switching will be used here, right? So if you come from the, that's why I always say always go with this one. See, this is L2, here also L2, this is also L2 switch, this is also L2 switch, right? And this will be a L3 switch. So now please don't ask me what is L3 and what is L2. If you ask me, then what I can do. सर पटकने के अलावा कुछ काम नहीं रहेगा. Okay. So L2 means L2 switches. So uh, it will learn the MAC addresses only, right? All the VLANs will be propagated here, right? So we know all the switching topic will be uh, covered here. Like what we will do, we will have this guy will be a VTP server, right? It will and this guy will be VTP clients. So we will create the VLANs here. So all the VLANs will be here. And on this switch, what we do in the L2 switches, we will just assign the port into that particular. Like if you have a printer, so it will assign into the particular printer VLAN. If you have a user VLAN, server VLAN, access point VLAN, then different type of VLANs. So this in the L2, you need to just connect this. So all the ports will be access port. Only one port. This will be a trunk port. So which is going to the L3, right? So same like here, L3, L3. It will be trunk port, and rest of the access port. So all the VLANs. Let's say you have four VLANs: printer VLAN, user VLAN, Wi-Fi VLAN, guest VLAN, and like this. So all the VLAN gateway will be configured here, right? So this guy will be having a routing table. Okay, in the routing table, what you will see when you configure interface VLAN, so you will see all the routes here. So what will happen? The printer is in A VLAN and user into the B VLAN. So from VLAN B to A, the communication will happen. So all the switching will be taken care here, right? L2 to L3. And you know the cabling will come into the L1 part. So without cabling, nothing will work, right? So till here we are okay, right? Then what next? Above. So okay, what in some okay, I'm just talking about the small operations where let's say you don't have any branch connectivity. Okay, so let's okay, so what they will have? They will have an internet, right? So internet router will be here, ISP router, and here you will be having internet connectivity, right? So ISP router will connect to the internet, and you know if you connect directly internet router to core switch, so there is no security. What will happen? Because the router don't have capability to like deny or keep the track of stateful inspection, it cannot be done. It will just does the routing. So what there is one option. If you don't have firewall, so what you can do in the this one L3, you can just put a default route. So what will happen? This interface and this interface. This will be the layer 3 interface. The network will be here. The one network will be here. So both can be ping each other. So two options. You can give a default route saying that 0.0.0.0 towards this next hop. And this guy will have all the internet routes. So it will pass here. But do you see what missing here? Firewall is not there. So this is the where is the place of the firewall? The firewall place is the towards the internet. So what we will do is we use a firewall just before this. Okay, and yeah, so your ISP router will be here, and uh, this interface it will be connected. And just remove this because I want to use the red one. Okay, so this one. Okay, so now we understand the placement of the firewall, right? So this is nothing but your firewall. Let's say ASA firewall. Okay, and what is this? This is your ISP router. ISP router. And let's say you have if any guys if they are accessing, let's say this is something called google.com. Okay, google.com. So what will happen? These guys they want to access the internet, so they will go to L3. From L3 it will send to ASA, and ASA to ISP router, right? So you know what, this L3 will have all the four five VLANs, right? So there will again there is a separate network here. This interface is called L3 interfaces. This interface is called L3 interfaces. These three, these two, and this. So you need a separate network here. Generally, /30. /30 will be in the subnetting /30 will be 4 IP addresses. So we will take any subnet that contain the 4 IP. One IP here, one IP here. One is the network ID, one is the broadcast ID. Like this is 4. So we split by we use the subnetting here. See the /30. So ASA, okay, L3 to ASA, there are two options. Like you can either put the static route or you can run a dynamic routing. You can run static routing or any dynamic protocol, OSPF, EIGRP, BGP, whatever you can. And here ASA to ISP router again you have option. You can use static or dynamic. Anything is possible. Okay. So you know, okay. So what ASA will do here? Okay. The first thing first in the ASA, uh, you are using two interfaces. Okay. Let's say Giga Ethernet 1x1, Giga Ethernet 1x2. Okay. So what we called is, so first we give the IP addresses here, both interface, this one and this one, and here this interface we called it as a inside zone. Okay, we called it as an inside zone. and the security level, we give a security level. Security level will be, we discuss, right? Security level is 100 here. So higher the security number, higher the security. Similarly, on the outside zone, outside this interface, what we do, we give a zone called outside. Okay, and security level we give 0. What does it mean? 0 means least security. So what we want, actually we want the same. Like what we want is, we want to protect these things. We want to secure inside whatever inside here. Okay, that's why we have given security level 100. So what will happen with the ASA? And again, what we will do after using this one, we will also put a natting here. We use a PAT here. Okay, port address translation. Now don't ask me the what is PAT. PAT is nothing but the your like one many to one. Like your all private IP addresses inside will be mapped to this one particular public IP, so that these guys can go to internet. Right? If you remember NAT, static NAT, dynamic NAT, and the PAT. So these guys will be get internet. So ASA will perform a natting, ASA will perform a routing, and what we will do also, we will put like give us, let's say, default routing towards it. So exactly, I have seen in like in Dubai migration, during migration, small sites. So they had similar. Most of the site I have seen the similar type of diagrams, similar type of networks. So some ISP, some branches, what they will do, they will say, why to waste a router here? Let's not use the router. And what they will do, directly internet connectivity they will put here. A public IP is direct external interface. That's all. That's also working. Fine, perfect. You don't want extra ISP router, then directly connect the internet to the outside network. That's fine, because this is just the, it does the same thing. Okay, but using the ISP router, it has the advantages. You will have more control on that, many things. So similarly, you can configure a VPN on the ASA, virtual private networks. Okay, many things you can configure. Okay, so this is the situation. And the migration. So what we did is, we did a migration from ASA to Parole. So what we do? So ASA, let's say we have 5510. So we take equivalent Palo Alto, like 200, tier 200. It is equivalent to this guy, 5510. So we buy a Palo Alto 200, and what we will do, we will, whatever the configuration. Okay, there is something called migration tool. So Palo Alto will have a migration tool. So what we will do, in the migration tool, we will put ASA configuration here, whatever the existing ASA configuration, and we will put the Palo Alto firewall, which we the brand new, its base configuration we'll put here. So what it does, this migration tool, it will merge the ASA configuration to Palo Alto configuration. It will give a new configuration that you need to upload here. When you upload here, right? So this, all the configuration what ASA has, you will get here. And what you can do, you can just plug and play. Remove this ASA and put the Palo Alto there. So, but guys, this is not as simple what I'm saying. This is actually the steps I'm saying. But in the migration tool, there are a lot of things you have to do manually. A lot of errors will be there. ASA natting is different. Palo Alto natting is different. ASA VPN is different. Here also groups and all, many things are changes there. So there is a lot of thing. It is not a plug and play. It is a lot of work there. Okay, so this is how the migration goes on from ASA to Palo Alto, or let's say Palo Alto to checkpoint. The similarly for the checkpoint firewall also, they will have a migration. There you put the Palo Alto configuration and checkpoint, and you can get the new and add here. So this is how the migration done. Okay, so but the most of the side, you will see the firewall will be placed here, and it work on the zones. Okay, this side is a more secure. This side is a least secure. Okay, so um, how to configure the, okay, the similar lab, we will try to do it here. Okay, before moving to the lab, any questions here? Don't
No,
ask,
it's okay.
or don't ask question about the migration. That will be again advanced topic related to this one. Is a basic things we are trying to see. So no questions, right? Okay, let's move to that. So what I have done is, so before the class, I was having some time, so I just prepared this lab. Okay. So in this lab, what we have is ASA is here. Okay. And this interface Giga 1 by 1 I kept into inside zone, and this side I kept into outside zone. Okay. And this is the internet router and kept one of the server here, and here these three machines in the LAN. Okay. So if you want to see this lab again, so no problem for me. Let me just remove this, and it will take 10 minutes more, but you will see exactly. And you have to do the practice today. Okay, otherwise because without firewall practice we cannot move further. So what I will do after this class, the same lab, I prepared the ASA configuration, ISP router, and the diagram also I copied here. So I will send to you guys, so you can build the same lab and do this lab. Have this practice must. And in the ASA configuration I put all the show commands and verification and all. So you need to apply word to word what I have copied here. So this will be very helpful for you. So what I will do, I will just take a new one. Let me save these somewhere. Save that. AC. So okay, before that, this ASA lab which I'm going to perform, it is on the packet tracer 7.3.1, the latest one. Just go to Google and check for the packet tracer 7.3. So it will directly give you the option. It is not a very difficult, just a simple step. Just install it, download it, and install. That's it. So even you will have, if you have older version, so you will have this tool. Can you see this? So this is the older version. No, this 6 dot, and this is my newer version. So just log in as a guest. So you will get this screen. So what is the advantage here? There are many things they have provided. So can you, if you go to ASA, can you see the ASA 5506 they provided? So 5505, it was a like a old firewall 8.1 operating system. But now with the 9.0 series, Cisco has a lot of changes. So we will directly use this one, 5506. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the firewall. Okay, ASA. Next, what I want one of the, okay, one more thing. But while selecting the router, okay, so if you go to the firewall, so can you see we have a Giga Ethernet interfaces. Giga means 1 GB interface. So if I take this router, 1941, so if I go here, can you see? Okay, here also Giga Ethernet. So in some other router, you will see the fast Ethernet 0. So you know what will happen when you connect fast Ethernet lower to higher. So the speed will got downgraded, and the link speed will be 100 Mbps. So that's why what we do is we try to take always higher interfaces. Like if the firewall support 1 gig, then use the 1 gig router. And if the firewall support 10 gig, then 10 gig also support by the Palo Alto firewall and higher end firewall. So you can use that. Okay, so here let me take this one, 2901. So if I go here, so Giga Ethernet. Yes, I want a Giga Ethernet only. So ASA is here, and this is, let's say this is my internet router. Okay, and what I want is in the LAN side. In the LAN side, let me take one of the switch. Okay, let's say one switch I have taken here, and let me take few machines. Okay, let me take few machines. This is 1, 2, and 3. So if you have worked before on packet tracer, so it will be very easy. So just connect here, from here to here, then connect from here to here, and this is your, this has become your LAN. So in the advanced lab, maybe next week what we will do, we will take a core switch here. We will run a routing between core switch to firewall. So this is exactly how the in the real time had happened. Okay, so okay, here next here from switch to ASA. Can you see it taken Giga Ethernet 1 by 1? Okay. Then from here, I'm doing from here, Giga Ethernet 1 by 2 to the firewall interface. Sorry, router interface 0 by 0. Okay. Now what I want is I want one server here, one server here. Okay. and let me connect it to the directly to the router. Okay, and what we will consider that this is nothing but it is placed in the internet. Okay, it is placed in the internet. Okay, so we are not going to do anything in the cloud. So this is just consideration that this server is nothing but the internet. So let's give something some name dot. Let's say this is public IP address 8.8.8.2. Okay, so similarly, what I'm going to do now, the network and subnetting is very important. What we are trying to you're designing. This is called a network designing. This is a diagram, and now you need to design your network. Okay, in the network you need to give the IP addresses. So let's say this is this one. So let's say this interface Giga Ethernet 0 by 1. I will use the same network 8.8.8.1. Okay, so this same network. Then this side Giga Ethernet 0. So let me take 1.1.1.2/24. Okay, and firewall this interface 1.1.1.1. So you have one network here, one network here, two networks done. And this side, your LAN will be, let's say LAN is 192.168.10.0, let's say 10.1. This is your LAN interface for this one. Okay, and for the machine data capacities. Okay, so this is our network step. Okay, now what we are going to do? So in the firewall side, so this Giga Ethernet one by one, this will be my IP address. Then my zone, security zone, zone will be inside. I'm using it will be inside zone, and my security level will be 100. Okay, this is already planned. Next, this side, 1/0, the security zone will be outside name, and the security level will be level is 0. Okay, so our basic diagram is done. So what I can do, just for making it more fancy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take something this one, just to give some good visibility on that. So okay, leave it. Disturbing my lab. Okay, so we are understanding very well here. So no need of these colors. So this is my inside zone. This is my outside zone. So what is the objective? Objective is my machines should access the internet. Okay, this is the objective, and access the internet via ASA firewall. Firewall, it is on exactly in front of internet. Okay, and so the objective, these guys can access the internet, but no one can come from outside to inside. This is our objective for this lab. So this is how the ASA is. Okay, otherwise if you have a router, what will happen, these guys can come here, but the firewall, the basic thing is we have given in security zone security level 100. So what is the default behavior of ASA? The higher value to lower value is allowed always, but the lower value 0 to 100, you cannot come, boss, I am ASA, I will block you. So this is how the lab is. Okay, now let's go and first start from here. So this is my server, and what I need to do, I'm just going to queue the IP address 8.8.8.2, okay, and 255.255.255.0, and 8.8.8.1 is my gateway. Next, let's go here in the router. In the router, okay, So I'm going to configure the router. So first it is saying, do you want to configure dialog box? Say no. Done. So now we are in the router. So what I'm going to do, just configure first the host name. Host name say ISP router. Okay, this is for ISP. So now we are going to configure the interfaces. So interface Giga Ethernet uh, 0 by 1. Okay, this side 0 by 1. So what I'm going to do, let's say description. So I will description I will say uh, towards internet. Okay, I have given the description. What is the IP address? IP address is 8.8.8.1 Okay, this is done. Exit. Now let's configure our this one, interface 0 by 0, which is connecting to the towards the firewall 0 by 0. So what is the IP address description? Let's give always give the description. Let's say towards LAN. Okay, and now give the IP address. IP address. What is the that 1.1.1.2 255.255.255.0. So your if you see show IP route, so can you see here you have 8 and 1 network directly connected networks. Okay, so can I ping from here to my gateway, from server to the gateway? Let's see that. Yes, 8.8.8.1. Yes, I can ping that. So this is fine. This side is completed. Okay, now this side we are not going to do anything, and even the IP addresses also I'm not going to give, because this side we are going to use a DHCP service. We will see that DHCP service. So what will happen in the IP address when you provide? Okay, so just now see there are two options. Static means you are statically providing, but if you choose the DHCP option, so it is a feature, dynamic host configuration protocol. So what will happen with this protocol? Automatically you will get an IP address. So who will give the IP address? IP address will be given by a DHCP server. So you know the Cisco ASA has the capability to become ASA server, DHCP server. So ASA will give the IP address to this guy 1, 2, 3. So we will see that how to do that. So now let's go and configure the Cisco ASA. So I'm here. Okay, CLI. Just go to the CLI. See, by default, if you see here, Cisco ASA is a Cisco ASA. So if it is a switch, it will be switch, and this router called a router. So enable. Just say enable. So it is asking the password. So by default, there will be no password. Just put enter. So you are into that. Now config terminal. See, it is the same. Cisco ASA is nothing but a iOS. See, show version. Same type of command. Show clock. See? So interface IP brief. Interface IP brief. So it is a reverse command actually. This command is changed. In the router, what we do to see the interface, show IP interface brief. So here show interface IP. So this is the command change. So in the routing table, how we see show IP route in the router. But here show route. See, this is the routing. Router. Okay, so this is same, nothing changed. And similarly show running configuration and show. So you know by default there are some configurations here. So let's remove those configurations first. So I'm going to configuration, then host name first. Let's use the host name. Let's say ASA firewall. Okay, host name. Now what I need to do, I need to configure the interfaces first. So interface 1 by 1 and 1 by 2. Let's configure Giga Ethernet 1 by 1 LANs towards LAN side. So there is already by default configuration. So let's remove it. No IP address. Then say no name if. Say no security level. Then you have removed the configuration. Similarly, there are some configuration in 1 by 2 also. See, if you want to see what you can do, show run interface Giga Ethernet 1 by 2. See, I'm in the ASA and I'm here in this mode, interface mode, but I can put any show command from any mode. See, this is the beauty of the ASA. But in the router, you need to go exit and put the show command. But here, from here, you can do anything from anywhere. So now see, there are some default configuration here. So we need to remove that. So let's say no IP address first. Let's say no name it. Then say no security level. Done. Done. So now if we see here, show run interface giga ethernet one by one. See there is no configuration here. Similarly, 1 by 2, no configuration. Okay, so nothing is here configured. So now we need to configure. So first we are configuring this side, our inside zone. So how to configure that? Go to configure terminal, interface, giga ethernet 1 by 1. Okay, now give the IP address first. IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0. Okay, let's say, then say name it. Name it nothing but the zone name. Give the zone name as an inside. See, all capital letter is smaller, anything is fine. Even zone name can be anything. You can give your name. Okay, no problem. But it should be understandable. So name if I'm saying inside. So when you say the inside, so the the ASA took the inside security level by default 100. By the name inside means it is a secure. So, but still we can give the security level. If you put the question mark, can you see the security level can be 0 between 0 to 100. So I will say 100. Done. And lastly say no shutdown. So how many commands I have put? If you see, show run interface giga ethernet 1 by 1. Can you see these are the configuration done for the ASA? This side done. Now next, go and configure the another interface 1 by 2. This interface. Give the IP address first. IP address 1.1.1.1 255.255.255.0. Then name it outside zone name. So when you go give the outside, so by default security level chosen 0. So still we can do security level is 0 because this is connected to my outside and no shutdown. So that's it. So your configuration is done. You can see show run. So can you see here your host name is ASA, your interface configuration is here. See when you see the show run, so you will see all configuration. But by show run interface giga ethernet 1 by 1, see specific configuration. Similarly 1 by 2. See this feature you will not see in the router. This is in the ASA. So you can filter anything anywhere. Okay, so this configuration done. Now the next thing is we need to give the default route towards internet router because I need to reach here, right? Okay, let's see that. Okay, so ASA is ready here. So okay, let's do one more thing. Can I from ASA can I ping to 8.8.8.2? That is the internet. I cannot ping. Why? Again the routing will come into picture here. See, that's why the firewall engineer should know about the routing. So because if you see the show route, can you see there is nothing here? There is nothing called 8.8.8.8. So what I need to do is towards my internet what I need to say config terminal say route. See in the command will be changed here. Instead of IP route I will say route question mark. See route towards outside zone. Route towards outside zone. And what is the route? 0.0.0.0 0.0.0.0. And the next hop is 1.1.1.2. See this guy. So done. So I have given it. So can I ping directly from here? 8.8.8.2. Yes, I can ping. Can you see here? The ASA can now ASA can reach to the internet. So how it is going? It is going from here to here and from here to here because we have given, and see 8.8 we don't have a route here, but we have given default route that. But this guy know about this guy. So that's the beauty of the routing. So now we have the reachability here. So let's configure the DSCP in the LAN side. So how to configure the DSCP? Let's first say you need to provide the pool DSCP address. Okay, the DSCP address give just name LAN. Okay, DSCP address give the range. Okay, range is, let's say I need to give the range of these IP addresses like 192.168.10.50 dash 192.168.10.80. So let's say I have not 50 to 80. So I need to give IP address from 50 to 30. So firewall will give IP address from this pool 51, 52, 53 till 80. Okay, DSCP this is given, and where, which zone, inside. Done. DSCP I have given. Then one more command, DHCP uh, enable which side, inside. Enable the DSCP inside. So now just go here, okay, in the LAN side, in the machine. Okay, see, instead of static, just see the DSCP. Can you see the firewall given him the IP address 10.50 and the gateway is 10.1. You haven't done anything. See, just go here, and this DSCP feature is used in everywhere. We are not going to every machine and giving the private IP address. Can you see 51? Similarly, the third machine is, just say DSCP 52. Can you see the firewall given the IP address sequence of 51, 52, 53? So if I go in the firewall and see show DSCP bindings, binding all. Can you see the firewall know that 51 I have given to this particular MAC address, 52 I have given to 51 given to this, 52 is given to this. So firewall given the IP addresses, and from this machine I can reach to the firewall. Ping one sorry 192.168.1.1, sorry 10.1. Yes, guys, if this meeting disconnect, please rejoin again. I think in 1 minute this is going to disconnect. So we'll see.